Fala, galera da TV Maldita. Esse negócio de mudar horário, pra mim não dá, cara. Olha onde eu tô.
Burro.
Meu, muito burro. Desculpa a todos vocês que estão em casa aí e tal. Rolou uma confusão gigante. Eu tava dando aula aqui no meu estúdio e eu tive que dispensar os outros alunos, porque eu achei na minha cabeça que a live era às 5 da tarde, do meu horário, e na verdade não, era 1 da tarde. Então, me desculpa, eu já pedi desculpa pros caras, acho que a gente nunca se atrasou tanto numa live, né? Agora a gente tá aqui, tipo, 1h23. Minha Nossa Senhora! Desculpa aí, galera de casa, mas tá aqui, ó. Eu esqueci da live mesmo. Não é que eu esqueci da live, eu tava presetado pra fazer a live às 5 da tarde. Loucura, eu tô aqui dentro do meu carro. Então, me desculpem aí, galera. A gente vai tentar fazer o papo render de forma legal aqui. Então, é isso aí. Se vocês tiverem perguntas... This is what is happening right now. You know when something is going so wrong that you can't believe that kind of stuff is happening. It's just like the way that I'm feeling right now. It seems that, this is not happening. This is not happening at all. But sorry, okay, guys? So, galera, todas as perguntas que vocês mandarem aqui pro Felix e pro Alex, a gente vai colocar no Superchat, tá? E lembrando, eu gostaria que o Gilson, né? A gente tem todas aquelas artes da prestação de contas que a gente fez, Gilson? Aí fácil ou a gente faz depois?
Acho que é melhor a gente fazer depois, né? Já estamos...
Fazer depois. Já estamos atrasados demais, né?
Os caras vão ficar esperando aí.
Então é isso aí, galera. Ó, podem mandar as perguntas para o Superchat. Hoje a gente vai arrecadar Superchat para União Musical. E, de certa forma, até que está bem confortável aqui, que está bem fresquinho aqui. O ar está muito bom. Ok? Então, mandem aí. Ok, guys, Alex and Felix, once again, I'm sorry. Sorry because Gilson know that every time when we change the time of our lives, I get confused, I mess around. So I'm so sorry. Usually we are really, really strict with schedule and in our lives as well. But sorry for that. Gilson, sorry. I'm so sorry. And
I'm glad that's you, because if you want the other way around, I would be I would be quitting this job.
You know what was funny? That he sent me a message like 12 minutes later, and he said, "Hey, I'm worried about you guys because we are 12 minutes late already." I said, "Oh my God, the live is now." So, okay, let's get started. And I would like to know what was happening in your life when you found about this COVID situation. What was the plan of you as a musician, as a drummer, and if you guys had some plans with the bands as well?
Okay, who wants to start? Felix?
Ich höre alles doppelt. I hear everything. There's a lot of echo.
Yeah, it's because of double bass drumming. It's like you get.
Yeah, probably. In my case, it's treble bass.
Yes, we are all playing the same pattern, but we are far away from each other. That's why.
Exactly. I mean, I can start. It was about the COVID situation, how we managed to do it, right? So, for me, it's like, I always had a lot of classes, and I was always teaching since 20 years. So that was also a part of my life, giving lessons, to have my fixed fee, to pay the rents and all that stuff, and the beer. And so, and the second part, and the water. And the second part was always,
for German guys,
especially Bavarian.
For German guys, beer, it's very important.
Exactly, because for the Bavarians especially, because for us it's like bread,
Liquid bread.
Liquid bread. So yeah, and the second part was always like going on tour and stuff. But you know, with bands, sometimes it's like you have to wait till the next tour is coming, and you know, so it was always for me. There was not so much changes now. I mean, the situation is like I don't know. It was just different because you cannot meet your friends and stuff and party, and you cannot go to the concerts and stuff. But as I said, for me, that was not that big change, because first I did all my lessons online, and my students stayed, you know, which was like for me super strange, because I thought everybody's leaving, but everybody stayed. So that was pretty nice, you know. So yeah, that's my situation actually. I don't know about Felix.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of gardening, actually.
Gardening.
lots of work in the house and outside, and yeah, lots of that. I mean, of course, practicing for myself, but as Alex said, it's of course very strange that there are no shows, no concerts, even no get-togethers with any of the bands I play in. That's really weird, and I've never had that before.
But this can be good sometimes too.
Yeah, of course. I'm really glad I don't have to see all these other guys all the time. No, especially the bass players, of course. No, it's really. Well, I manage. I think it's really weird. It could be worse in our case, but yeah, I just hope that they will find, I don't know, a vaccine or anything, and that we can start touring again soon.
Okay, like your bands, do they?
No, there's nothing.
There's nothing.
He's free, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's gone. But we can ask us questions ourselves. You know, that would be.
Yeah.
So Felix, what's your favorite beer brand?
My favorite beer brand. I like wheat beer a lot.
What is it?
Schneider.
Ah.
That's a Schneider Weisse.
Oh.
Dark. Well.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know, but Aquiles is a healthy guy. He doesn't drink at all, so he's always talking about not drinking beer. So
yeah,
this is cool to see you guys talking about beer in his channel.
but you know what? Sometimes we drink also water, and I think that's important to know.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, usually during shows, although, mostly.
Really? Yeah.
Let me translate a little bit of this to the guys in Brazil here. O Aquiles perguntou como eles estavam durante o Covid e tal, e o Alex comentou que ele estava dando bastante aula e continuou dando aulas. Enquanto que o Felix comentou que ele estava fazendo muita jardinagem enquanto isso. E nesse meio tempo o Aquiles caiu e o Alex sugeriu que a gente fizesse perguntas entre nós. E o Alex perguntou qual era a cerveja favorita do Felix. E eu brinquei que é muito engraçado ver eles comentando sobre cerveja, já que o Aquiles é um defensor enfim, de não beber cerveja, de não beber álcool. Estamos aqui falando disso no canal dele, enquanto ele está perdido no mundo de Dark, né? Então vamos voltar à nossa conversa aqui. Let's talk in English again, please.
Okay, yes. Everything you just said.
Okay.
Yeah, we can also talk in German, Felix. Huh? Was meinst du?
Oh, I can. Ich meine, ja, klar.
Wieso nicht?
And,
an alle deutsche Freunde hier, hallo, übrigens auch mal kurz.
Ja,
von der deutschen Power Metal Drum Front quasi. Alles gut, und now we can try to speak. Talk in English.
Aquiles is trying to get in online again.
Yeah, we can take over, you know.
Hey,
there he is.
Sorry.
You don't look happy.
Man, I'm having troubles. Like I never had before. Now was like, it seems that I received a message from my cell phone that was too hot, so I need to cool it down. But now I turned the AC in a very, very high temperature, so I'm thinking that we are good now.
So you're freezing now.
Yes, I'm
Cool.
totally freezing.
In your car.
Yeah, but outside.
We were talking about beer while you were around.
Ah, okay, cool. So my question for you guys is like, were you guys planning, like the band was planning like doing a tour during that time, like in March, April, or maybe in the fall this year?
Yeah. Felix, go. Felix.
Okay, then.
No, we just. I think we just. Oh, sorry again. Fuck. Go, Felix. Go. We have to get used.
We count to 4. No, I'm with Avantasia. We were supposed to play a couple of festivals this year, and no real tour. But of course, everything got canceled.
Yeah.
They rescheduled everything for next year, and nobody knows if it's really going to happen. So I have no idea. But so far there was no real tour for this year. Maybe next year in February with another band called Masters of Ceremony, but I don't think that this will actually happen. I mean, I would be glad and very happy if it did, but I'm very skeptical.
Okay. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, we are coming to Latin America now in September, October this year. Now, actually, I mean, with Camelot, those gigs are still like on, but it's going to be rescheduled to next year. And also all the festivals we had obviously to cancel. And I don't know what's going to happen next year, actually, because the situation also in Latin America and Brazil, I mean, you know more about. You hear me? Yeah, I mean, the situation is, let's just wait what's going to happen, because I think nobody can really tell what's going to happen.
Okay.
I really
Gilson,
am positive. But...
Gilson, you tell me when we have super chat, because I'm without my computer. Okay.
None.
None yet. Okay.
None yet.
So, okay. So
I think
my
people are not
question.
too happy.
Yeah. So okay. So my question is, okay. Like my question is, like, have you guys ever had those kind of problem when you are recording something in studio and your legs just stop working? Because you
never.
No?
because like you overplayed, like you over rehearsed, or maybe when you are touring that you get like very, very tired and you had kind of problems with the legs, and then you have to change a little bit the arrangements.
You mean as a player, right? Not
Yes.
I thought the MacBook, you know, because it was too hot, taking all the hits, you know, the fast speed, you know. No, no, but sure, I know everything, like getting tired, and yeah, I went through all these things, you know. Obviously, I mean, yeah, I know it. So that's why I try to do this stuff like with less like force and power, to get the beater work and let the beater do the stuff to make let it like there's something, the beater works for you actually. And I discovered things like this, and this is like my passion, you know, to go through a Rhapsody show, and after the show I feel like before, or even I have more power and more fresh than before. Sometimes this can happen, and I'm working on this. Wow. Because
well, that's weird.
Yes, because after the show we have a party and we need to drink a lot of beer, so
that's why you need to keep the power.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's true. I mean, I really, since with Rhapsody, when I started to play with them, every song was like 180, 190 or stuff. I had really to focus on some philosophy to get everything done smooth, and this is really something I've worked on since the last 10, 20 years, and that's something I discovered a lot of things. So I had all these problems you were talking about, to get tired. Also, when you start a tour after 3-4 gigs, I mean, you get. I always know that after the 5th gig, I feel like, okay, you're getting tired. So you go back to your muscle work. You know, you're working with your muscles, which is like, getting you problems later on. So I really try to have this overview to keep it for getting the tour done in a way I'm still alive after the tour.
Okay.
So, you know.
But and you play really fast stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for power metal, yes, there are so many faster drummer out there, you know. But I mean, you guys play the same speed or even more fast, right? Aquiles, Felix. Come on.
Okay, Felix.
Not so much anymore.
How it works for you? Did you have this kind of problem in the past?
Yeah, of course.
You are touring a lot.
Yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, with that guy, we play 90 minutes or 2 hours. That's totally okay. I mean, usually I don't have any problems there at all. But with Avantasia, we play 3.5 hours.
It's a lot.
Sometimes even a little bit more, and that is very. Of course, I am very tired after a show. Although I have to say, during the show, I hardly notice it. I mean, it's like time flies by, and I feel like I just sat down, played a set, and then it's suddenly over. But when I go backstage and sit down, I could sleep. Actually, it's really hard. And of course, sometimes what's really a problem, cramps in the Wade. I don't know what's that called in English here. Where is it? This part.
Okay.
in the leg, you know, when everything starts to cramp, that's really shitty.
Okay. So, but when you guys are having this kind of problems, do you guys change the arrangements? Like in the part that you should be playing 60 notes, you change the pattern for another thing? No?
Never. No, for me, there's no way, because no, and that never happened. I try to play it, you know, even if it's gonna be shitty in the past, maybe. I hope not now anymore. But I really wanted to get it done. I mean, that's my thing. I never changed the pattern. Even when I played the Guardian stuff, Blind Guardian, you know, the Toman, he always played his special patterns he had, leading with the left foot. So there was always 3 parts. For me, that was like, you know, Slayer pattern. So I played it through because I want to have it like this, and I try to do it. That's it. So I never changed it.
Okay. What about you, Felix?
Yeah, I try not to change too much as well. I mean, some parts I keep changing them in every show, actually, but it's very small stuff usually. But usually it's same as Alex. I try to play it every night more or less the same. And when I have that cramp problem, of course, that's really annoying, because then I suddenly have to switch from the right foot, from the right bass drum to the left.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which is very interesting sometimes. And but so far no major fuck ups there.
Okay, cool.
And Aquiles, how about you, Aquiles? You change patterns?
So actually, you know, that would be the next question for you guys. But you know, when I'm doing this kind of tours, especially, I prepare myself a lot, and I usually I play like before I start the tour, like 15 days before I start playing the set twice a day, and I usually I do this like by the end of the day, after all the exercises, all the boring stuff that you have to do for your personal life. So when I'm kind of tired, and sometimes I also run before I practice, because for me it's much more like about you are totally 100% you know that you are able to do that even if you don't sleep well, if you don't eat well.
Yeah,
because
sure.
it's much more about what is inside your head and how hard you practice to get to that point. But I heard stories about like other drummers that they had problems like in the middle of the tour, that they had to be replaced for another guy for at least a week because the legs was not working at all, you know.
My God.
So I think Gilson, I think we should translate this part for the guys, because this is really cool. Ok. E a gente tem superchat aí, Gilson?
Temos dois.
Temos dois,
Temos
então
um,
tá,
na verdade, uma pergunta só. O outro é só um comentário.
Então, beleza. Ó, eu perguntei para eles como que eles lidam com esse negócio de estar em turnê e ficar cansado e a perna não funcionar e tal. Eles
Vocês
falaram
mudavam
assim
o padrão, né? Vocês
exatamente.
mudavam o padrão do
se eles mudavam, tipo assim, quando é semicolcheia, né? Eles falaram que não, que eles preferem, tipo, tocar aquele negócio meio, mais ou menos, para receber, para ganhar confiança outra vez, né? Então eles falaram que nunca acontecia, e o Felix falou que, tipo, às vezes ele tem cãibra na batata da perna e ele aguenta firme.
E que o show para o bumbo esquerdo, né?
Exatamente, ele toca as coisas com o pé direito, o pé...
Genau das, genau das.
Yeah, it's perfect. We are just talking about it. Então, tipo, ele falou também que pro show do Ed Guy é 1h30, 2, que tava ok, mas que pro Avantage é um pouco pior, porque são 3 horas e pouco de show. Então, ele, assim, durante o show ele não sente, mas quando acaba o show ele tá pronto para dormir, que ele tá cansado pra caralho. Então tá. Superchat, então, Gilson.
Vamos lá. Rafael Martins mandou 10 euros aqui. This is for Felix. I also live in Germany and could watch Felix playing live a few times. Always an awesome performance, especially in those 3 hours Avantage concerts. Hope to see you playing again soon. Cheers.
Me too. Thank you very much.
And Daniel Calado sent another 10 reais. Thank you, Daniel.
Ok.
So, Alex,
galera, se quiser perguntar sobre coisa de banda, vocês podem falar que esse assunto que eu vou entrar agora. So, guys, you like Alex, I remember like when Toby released the very first Avantage album, that was a kind of masterpiece with the best power metal players like you, Michael from Halloween, and also Kay Hansen, all those guys. So how, like, when you start rehearsing those songs, like, did you change the mind of your approach to not play the way that you are playing in your other bands? Did Toby ask you to bring like a different approach for that album?
It was something like, I mean, Toby just called me, like always, like some days or a week before or something, because Danny Zimmerman, he was about to, Toby wanted him to record the record. Okay. So, but he was not available for rehearsals. So he asked me to, hey, Alex, do you do it? And I just replaced Felix on Wacken, on the first Wacken Edguy show, also without rehearsal. Also, that was 1 week maybe before. He was in the States, Felix, right? So, so he knew me. Toby knew me from this one Edguy show, and he wanted somebody to have, like rehearsing the songs, because Toby just had his little tape recorder where he just sang his ideas for the first and the second record, because both records were recorded at the same time, So he just had these fragments, like the melodies. Then he sang like what's the bass line and the drums. And it was very rough. And I think everybody could really do what he wanted. So my approach before was I played with Sieges Even, which was like a prog metal band. I had to change, but for me, it's like not something I have to keep in mind for changes or changing myself, because the music is always there. The music demands something special, and you give it, or that's what I try to do. So yeah, and then we recorded. First we rehearsed and made 3 songs a day in the Kai Hansen studio, and we recorded that once. And I think after 1 week or something, we had 1 or 2 days off, and we went in Fulda in the studio with Norman and recorded on Dutch recorder on the old, machines actually. And we also we just dropped in when there was a break. It was not like today, where you play this part and then you play the next part. So we had really to be concentrated, and then we just, I don't know, it was like something really special, this record, both records, because we rehearsed like a real band. And this is like, you can hear it. If you ask me, this is an old vibe, and the magic is like a different one. And this was great, really.
So basically, all the vocal lines were done. Toby was singing along all the songs while you guys were rehearsing, just like a old school band.
Yeah, it was like, he was just sitting. I remember in the studio there was Henjo, Markus Großkopf, Henjo Richter, me, and he was sitting on the keyboard, Toby, and he sang just, okay, the next part is like da 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 da, and and then we do this, and that was clear what he had in his head, this fragments, and we just did it. And if there was something like a question Markus wanted for this song, especially for the Reach Out for the Light, we can do maybe some tricky bass drum pattern, and I told him, if we do this, we won't finish the record, so we made it like the verse was like more straight, stuff like this. And it was amazing. I mean, crazy stuff. 99.
Okay, so Danny Zimmerman should be the drummer to record this album. And do you know why he quit?
No, he was not really in the band. He just Toby wanted to have him as a drummer, and he was not available for rehearsals. And Toby said he wants to have a guy who is there. And I think I was not even in Rhapsody, so I was like quite unknown. I was the Sieges Even, this prog techno trash was the name back then, drummer, which was like, so he called me because he had no choice, nobody else. That was it. That was it.
So, and how was for you, Felix, to jump in that gig? How did you get this gig also?
That was also a coincidence. I mean, Ed Guy were on a break, of course, because we knew that Toby was preparing and rehearsing for the very first Avantasia tour, and my wife and I, we were on a cruise ship somewhere in the Caribbean, and
always.
Yeah. And then one day, I mean, the cell phone didn't work when we were on the ocean. And then I don't know where we were, somewhere in Mexico or Jamaica, I don't know. I could see when we were on land that Toby tried to call me several times, like 20 times. And I was like, okay, something has happened. So
something's wrong.
Yeah, so I called him and he told me, could you do the Avantasia tour? And I was like, Toby, I'm in the middle of, I don't know, in the middle of the Caribbean. I'll be home in 3 days. So, yeah. And, in the end, he told me that the drummer who was supposed to play the tour, I think in the end, he couldn't make it. There were some problems of some kind. And so I had in the end, I had like 2 days to learn the whole set.
Wow.
And, and the minute I got home, I had to repack my whole stuff and leave straight for Wolfsburg. We were rehearsing in the studio from Sasha Pet. And
but you know that Felix, you know that he called me first.
No.
No, you don't know.
No.
No, but yeah, yeah, I mean, I played the record, so he told me the same, like the other drummer who was supposed to play. I don't know exactly what happened, but he asked me, hey, can you come tomorrow we do the world tour and stuff. And so I was on a supporting journey with CJ Stevens, a few gigs in Germany. So I told him, yeah, I can do it, but I have 3 or 4 gigs in Germany in these 2 months. So we had to, schedule it around. And he said immediately, like, no. Then I called my friend Felix, which was the story back then.
That was very lucky for me.
Yeah, and for me it was not so lucky, but we played with Journey, which was also great, Dean Castronovo, so it was amazing.
Wow.
And, everything is like, I'm so happy for you, Felix, because Felix, we are friends, so.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
If he would be another guy, I'm not so sure.
But
Felix, there can only be one.
Maybe you need two drummers if it's hard for your, here.
Yes, and I can start partying even earlier.
Yes,
this.
Exactly.
Então, galera, eu perguntei para ele, né, como foi que começou o negócio do Avantasia, né? E aí ele falou que quem estava cotado para gravar era o Dennis Zimmerman, que na época tocava no Gamma Ray, mas ele queria o Toby, né, o Tobias Sammet, ele queria pessoas que pudessem ensaiar com a banda, e o Daniel não podia, possivelmente ele devia estar tocando com o Freedom Call, que era outra banda dele. E aí ele chamou o Alex, e o Alex, ele estava tocando com essa banda dele, né, que era muito mais prog, né. What's the name of the band again, Alex? Steven Egan.
CJ Even. CJ Even, yeah.
Ok. Então, essa banda aí que é bem prog, e eu tenho um disco deles. What's the name of that album that is blue?
Sophisticated.
I have this one. It's pretty good. It's really good. Então, aí ele falou assim que ele teve que mudar um pouco do jeito de tocar dele, que era muito mais prog, né? E aí que o Toby, algumas vezes, eles estavam ensaiando, já tinha as linhas de voz prontas, ele ficava falando assim, pô, a gente podia tentar mudar esse padrão de bumbo aqui, fazer diferente. Ele falou, cara, você que sabe, mas a gente vai passar aqui muito mais tempo para gravar, e daí eles foram para as coisas de power metal, que acabaram virando a marca registrada, né? Aí eu perguntei pro Felix como que ele pegou a gig, né? E ele contou, né, que ele estava no meio do oceano, em um cruzeiro com a mulher dele, e o Toby tinha tentado ligar várias vezes, aí ele viu que na hora que deu o sinal, tinha umas 20 ligações do cara, e ele falou assim, puta, agora deve estar acontecendo alguma coisa importante, e ele foi enfático, né? Você pode fazer a próxima tour, tal, da banda? Aí ele falou, pô, mas eu tô no oceano. Não, você vai ter 2 dias para você gravar antes dos ensaios, para você ensaiar. Aí ele aceitou, né? Aceitou, e aí foi muito legal. Mais algum superchat aí, Gilson, ou eu posso seguir?
Sim.
Ok, então, put it.
This one is from Thiago Guimarães, who sent 20. He's a physiotherapist and drummer. Soon he'll be here with us to talk about his work. He asked if both of you guys ever had tendinitis. If yes, which part of the body and how you treat it?
Felix?
Well, even though I had those cramps, it was never really treated. I mean, I remember one show where Hille, my drum tech, actually tried to massage my leg while I was playing. It was nothing sexual.
I can imagine.
But it didn't really work, and and then I started to take a lot of magnesium pills.
Okay.
And that helped with the cramps, but then if you take too much of that stuff, you have other problems. So yeah, there's always something. But
you play too fast then, right?
probably, or too much. I mean,
that's not your problem. That's the problem for the guitar player and for the bassist. You know, if you play too fast.
Yeah, that's actually true. But they complain anyway. So
yes, this is why I use the click. So anyway.
Yep.
What about you, Alex?
Yeah.
Did you have something? No.
I just remember I had once this first Blind Guardian show in Brazil, Sao Paulo. I
was there. I was there.
Oh my God! Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, exactly. In that show that we took that picture that I sent you.
Amazing. Yeah. I just know that Kiko was also there, and the manager. But anyway, I was like first show and no rehearsal. Just I think we played 3 songs in a Brazilian rehearsal studio somewhere, and then they said, "Okay, it passed. It's okay." Like also Toby and was the same, always the same story. But I used to take a chewing gum, and I used to move my, I don't know how this part is called, like, you know, when I play. So I was like, fuck, and it was like going out here, you know, in the first song. And there was so much pain. But there were how many thousand? I mean, a lot of people. And I was, fuck, and I was talking to my drum tech, like, but you know, you play, you don't know the song, nothing, you know. So, yeah, but luckily it went back, you know. That was the only thing I had, actually. And for the rest, I always eat bananas before the show for the magnesium stuff, Felix. So that's some good advice, maybe. no, but banana and I think that's
banana.
Nice.
Então,
nothing more, actually.
Ok. Então, na verdade, eles não tiveram, não, né? Tipo assim, ele falou que ele teve ele teve algumas câimbras, e aí o técnico de bateria dele, né, o Felix, fez algumas massagens, mas ele falou que não foi nada sexual. Aí a gente tirou sarro dele, né? Mas ele falou que nunca foi nada assim, e aí ele começou a tomar aquelas pílulas de magnésio, né? Mas aí ele falou que quando você toma demais aquilo, você estanca essas dores, mas você acaba tendo problemas com outras coisas, que é o excesso do magnésio, né? E o Alex falou que quando ele foi tocar com o Blind Guardian no Brasil, foi assim de última hora, né? E aí ele ensaiou um dia num estúdio, tocou umas 3 músicas. Aí eu até falei para ele que eu tava nesse show, que a gente bateu uma foto junto lá, que depois eu mandei lá para ele quando ele foi fazer os shows com o Falaschi, né? E aí ele falou que naquele dia ele sempre costuma mascar chiclete enquanto ele toca, né? Coisa que é exatamente igual a mim. Ele falou que o maxilar dele meio que se deslocou assim, e ele foi tentar explicar aquilo pro técnico dele enquanto ele tocava, que foi horrível, né? Então ele sentiu muita dor e que o show foi tipo um pesadelo. So, Felix, just tell me, what's the best paycheck, Edguy or Avantasia?
Well, at the moment, Avantasia are way more successful, and well, I can't complain. I mean, but it's very different, because in Edguy I am a band member, and everything is very different, and in Avantasia everyone is an employee. So so it's very different.
Okay. Felix, if you want to go for holidays again, like to Mexico or whatever, you can always call me.
Okay, and Felix, how is to deal with Toby in this two situation? Is something like totally different? Like at the Avantasia gig, he's much more busy. He's taking care of much more stuff than the Edge guy. No, it's pretty much the same.
I mean, Toby is a person who likes to take charge of, everything, concerning the music, of course, songwriting and stuff like that, and mostly of the organization as well. But when we are on tour, then of course we have our tour manager and stage manager and stuff like this. So I think he can really relax a lot. But for me and Toby, it's not really that different. I mean, we've known each other for so many years now. So this is actually really, I mean, it's fun for both of us, and it's.
You don't know.
Yes.
And Alex, like in the beginning of Rhapsody, a lot of people were complaining because they were just releasing album and they were not touring. Okay, so basically they, in the beginning, when you guys start playing, I don't know how do they record the albums in the past, if the drums were like programmed or not, or played, but how was for you to get in that gig and like read comments on internet saying that band is not real, they have a lot of fake stuff during, like they are using backing tracks, playback, this kind of stuff. How was for you that is a real drummer that play like that, it's capable to play live, to read that kind of stuff at that time?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, when I came in the band, I always played in bands, like with my band Seachers Even, we always did everything real, you know, and we also had the Avantasia records I recorded before I went in that gig with Rhapsody, and also that stuff. So for me, everything was always like real, you know. And then I went in Rhapsody, which was super exciting because the first tour was still one of the best tours I ever made. And all the guys I meet, like Sonata Arctica and Stratovarius, the guys, they're really like, everybody's saying the same. This tour was killer, you know, because Stratovarius were like really on a super level. And we started touring with super successful Symphonies of Enchanted Lands, the first record. And everything was almost sold out, you know, that was like a big thing. Metal was really on top, and so it was a little bit two-sided. I always was like very much into, we were like friends in the band, and it was fun. And to read these commands was, of course, not something nice, but I mean, that's part of the deal, right? If the people who pay the tickets, they don't like something, I mean, they can tell their opinion, right? So. It's always like hurtful for musicians, always, because musicians sometimes are sensible maybe, and you know, but that's part of the deal. And we tried our best to get better. And yeah, I mean, this backing track thing was always a big part of this band, and it was always a pain in the ass if something fucked up, you know. That was really something. I was like always, hey, please let us skip this thing, but not possible in this band. I would really like to go on stage and no click track, nothing, you know, just rock and roll. That's my. I don't know if this is gonna happen in my life with the band, or I will still always play with click track and backing tracks. But I miss it.
Okay, cool. And Felix, how is for you guys? Like, do you guys use like backing tracks, this kind of stuff when you're playing?
With Edguy, yes. We do not have a live keyboarder in Edguy, so we use a small hard disk device thing. So of course I have to play with click there all the time. And in Avantasia we do have a live keyboarder, but still on most songs I mean I always have a click just running beside me, and well, sometimes I turn it off. So in Avantasia, I'm a little bit more free what to do. I mean, yeah, as you all know, when you have backing tracks, then of course you have to stay on click all the time, and that is a little bit more relaxed in Avantasia. But yeah, but apart from that, everything is really live. I mean, even all the singers, all the backup vocals. And the backings in all bands are always live. There's nothing.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Então, galera, eu perguntei pro Alex se quando ele começou a tocar com o Rhapsody, se ele não se se ele não ficava chateado com os comentários que as pessoas faziam sobre a banda ser fake, se não ser verdade. Ele falou que aquilo incomodava um pouco ele, porque pô, ele sempre foi um cara que tocava de verdade com as bandas dele, e nessa banda sempre teve um monte de coisas com os click tracks, né, que muitas vezes quando dava pau, isso era um terror no show. Aí eu perguntei pro Felix, né, se tem isso. Ele falou que no Ed Guy o show inteiro é com teclado pré-gravado, porque eles não têm tecladisco, e que é lógico que ele toca com metrônomo, né, o show todo, e que no Avantasia tudo, mas ele falou que todos os backings e todas as vozes do Ed Guy são feitas ao vivo mesmo, né, e que no Avantasia tem alguma coisa gravada, mas eles também têm o tecladista, então isso faz a coisa ser um pouco mais real. Gilson, quando você tiver alguma coisa, você fala, tá?
Tem, mas algumas coisas são meio bem fora do assunto, assim, não sei se...
Não, tá, então deixa eu só perguntar uma outra coisa. Hey, Felix, how did you get the gig with Ed Guy? I remember that the first album that is kind of, the cover is green, wasn't you, was another guy,
no,
right?
It was, the album is called Vainglory Opera, and that was
Yeah, exactly.
1998. Yeah, that was when I joined the band, and I didn't know them before. Toby called me. They were playing a festival show with Captain Jack, I think, some pop techno whatever thing, with a drum computer. Because they didn't have a drummer anymore. And the boss of our old record label, I knew him because I helped out in his band a couple of times. And well, he gave Toby my number and suggested that he called me. And this is actually how it happened. It was another coincidence because I've never heard anything from Ed Guy before that. And I just finished school. Yeah, that was actually I was very lucky at that time that this all just came together. And then they came to my rehearsal room, and I was living in a city called Marburg at the time. It's close to Frankfurt. Yeah, and I played for them a couple of songs from that last album from Ed Guy, and that's it.
That's it. Okay. And like you guys, you never replace any players, right?
No.
It's always the same guys. Okay, and I would like to ask you how the guys, like, what's the magic, what's the tip that you can give to the people that is watching? Because a lot of people that is watching this live chatting, they have bands, they are drummers, they want to be doing this professionally in the future. So what's the best tip that you can give to keep the band together for such a long time, like you guys?
Well, that's a tricky one. I think in Ed Guy or in Avantasia, we are just very lucky that there are so many people who get along so well. I mean, there are never or hardly ever real fights. Discussions, of course, but nothing really bad so far. So I guess the chemistry between everyone is really important, and for some reason, I mean, it just happened. So that was never a problem. So I think we're just very lucky, and and if it doesn't work, then you really have to start drinking.
Okay.
or take drugs. I mean, look at bands like Aerosmith, and I don't know, they're still alive.
Okay,
I don't know if they talk to each other, but
I asked this to Nico in our live shows here, and I would like to ask you guys the same question. Like, you guys have a WhatsApp group where you guys can chat with the band, sending jokes and talking almost every day, at least just to say hello, how are you guys, or maybe just it's like send some pictures, some funny jokes. Is that kind of relationship that you have, or is much more professional stuff? So
I don't have any. We have a chat group, or on each tour we have a new chat group. and we are I think we are pretty much close to the crew. I mean, we are like the funny stuff. The funny stuff is coming from the crew, because you have to know that Rhapsody is not funny at all, and not. I mean, a little bit maybe, but it's not. It's like really no rock and roll at all. It's like after the show you go on the bus and then you sleep or you talk and drink water. I always try to convince them to drink, but no, I'm joking. No, but it's really like it's really something. The stage is like that's our party room, and the rest is also when we don't meet, we don't have so much contact, It's like, everybody's doing his thing. But as I said, with
much more professional stuff. It's much more.
I don't know if you can call it. I think it depends how close you are with the. We are close, actually. We are friends, and also with Dominique and Patrice, we're having with Fabi. I think it depends on the times, Okay. If there's something coming up, we are much more in contact and stuff. But depends.
What about you, Felix? I remember when we played together at the Prague Power. I think that was 2002, I think. And we were all staying in the same hotel. Every time when one guy was going out, everyone was walking together. You five guys were always walking together like a real team. So I could feel something that was totally different from my band at that time. Angra, we never used to hang together.
Okay.
Some like maybe. Me and Edu, we were always really, really close. So we used to do this kind of stuff. Oh, let's eat something. Let's go to this mall together. But that was a big surprise for me, seeing you guys walking always together. That was cool.
Yeah, that's actually how we still do things. I mean, when we're on tour, of course, naturally you hang out a lot. But when we have off days, for example, we usually just call each other up and make plans for dinner, for example, or if we would like to go and do some sightseeing or stuff like that. And that still happens. And it's actually the same with Avantasia. We have still a lot of contact. With the Avantasia chat group on WhatsApp, there's happening something every day. Because the Americans are writing something or sending stupid videos and pictures when we're asleep, and then the other way around. So that's actually very funny, and everybody gets along really, really well. And it's the same there. We always it's like the last couple of tours, like a tradition. When we enter a hotel, you can count on it that 10 minutes after everybody checked in, everybody's meeting at the bar. and then on a show day, some of us go to the city and then have lunch together. And I think it's a good thing. There's a lot of contact, actually, and private things as well.
Wow! Tell us more. The private things.
I can give you very nasty details.
Let's translate this. This is really cool. Vai, Gilson, trabalha pouquinho.
Tá bom. O Aquiles perguntou como é que era a questão de eles se integrar, se eles tinham um grupo de WhatsApp para conversar entre as bandas e tal. E o Alex comentou que no Rhapsody é basicamente trabalho. Ele já tentou convencer os caras a beber, mas eles não entraram nessa. E tentaram... Na verdade, eles só conversam sobre trabalho quando tem alguma coisa vindo, alguma turnê. Eles fazem um novo grupo, conversam ali. Fora isso, nada. Enquanto que o Aquiles até perguntou que quando ele tocou junto num festival com o Felix, ele viu o pessoal do Edgar tudo juntinho na rua, indo jantar, indo comer, indo se divertir juntos. E o Aquiles não tinha isso com Angra na época. E ele achava muito legal que eles tinham essa união. E ele citou que até hoje eles são assim. Eles ainda, inclusive, ficam trocando mensagem com o pessoal dos Estados Unidos em horários diferentes, mandando mensagem para acordar um ao outro. E quando eles têm a turnê, quando eles estão juntos, eles ainda saem para jantar, sempre se encontram no bar. Depois de 10 minutos que deram o check-in no hotel, eles já estão no bar. Então isso prova que beber é bom para a banda. Drink is good for the band.
Drinking together is good for the band.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Can be
you
water
guys,
too.
yeah. So you both guys, you have two like very like it's very clear who is the band leaders. Like in Rhapsody, you guys, you have Luca, and with Edge Guy in without Avantasia, you guys have Toby. So I would like to ask about these two gentlemen, like if they usually they ask the opinion of the band and the other co-workers, or they just stand with the word and say, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. And then if you have or no, if you have or not the chance to talk about something that you're gonna do like for 3 or 4 weeks in the future when you are touring, or if they just tell people, okay, we're gonna do this, this is the set list, let's do it.
So yeah, I have like not just one Rhapsody, you know. So I I had the leader is now Fabio and Luca. Before it was Luca to release Rhapsody. Luca. Then I had also the chance to work with Rhapsody 5 with Alex Daropoli. So sometimes they were like we were talking with Alex Daropoli actually about goals and stuff, and but mainly we always with Luca and Fabio now we had a management, or we have a management, and so they decide what they do, so completely. So there's nothing what the band, we can suggest some things, of course, we discussed, we are very open, but there's nothing I could do. I would do everything different, I can tell you. But I'm not asked, you know. So.
And anything.
That's it.
What about you, Felix?
It's actually pretty similar. I mean, since Ed Guy are a real band, we well, most decisions are made inside the band. So, but even there, Toby is mainly doing.
He's the mastermind.
Important things, yeah. And I mean, he's dealing with the record company and with the touring agency, and yeah. So basically, everything comes together with him. And and in Avantasia, of course, he is the boss. But still, of course, if someone has suggestions or something, of course, you can always come to him. And the band itself discusses things, and then we present that. But of course, in the end, if he wants something done in a very specific way, then it will be done.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
It always depends. I mean, the guy who is like doing the things, he has to pay, you know. So
yeah,
that's the thing. And you can have your own band. You can do your own band, and everybody can decide. So I mean,
to be honest, I prefer much more to be a sideman than to be on tour with my band, because when I'm doing tours with my bands, I'm paying the fucking bill. when I'm doing as a sideman, you know, I don't have any kind of problems at all. I just get the payment and I do my job, and that's it. Então, galera, deixa eu só falar isso, que isso é legal. Eu falei para eles, né, que nas bandas que eles tocam tem 2 band leaders que são muito claros, assim, né, que é o Luca e o Tobias. E aí o Alex falou que no Rhapsody é o Luca e o Fábio, que é o Fábio do Angra, que vocês conhecem muito bem. E na outra banda, na outra época, era o Fábio e o tecladista, né? Agora, uma coisa que eu não entendi, Gilson, tipo assim, ele tá tocando com as 2 bandas, é isso? Isso é uma pergunta legal de se falar.
Tem as 2 bandas, que é Rhapsody of Fire e tem outra Rhapsody. Eu queria perguntar, porque eu também acho confuso isso.
Isso a gente vai perguntar depois. Então, eles falaram assim, o Alex falou, cara, tipo assim, a gente pode falar até, dar opinião, mas a decisão vai vir deles, porque são eles que tomam conta do negócio todo. E aí a pergunta pro Felix, e ele começou falando, cara, vou falar que é tipo, mais ou menos a mesma coisa, tal, mas no Ed Guy a gente decide as coisas mais como banda, e no Avantasia o Tobias, ele é o chefão, então ele que decide as coisas, né? Mas ele fala assim, a gente pode falar, mas como ele que é o cara que fala com os agentes, com as gravadoras, então é mais ou menos o que tá na cabeça dele, né?
Tem um superzinho aqui que tem a ver com...
Tem? Tá, então
Posso
beleza.
botar?
Ô, galera, porra, meu, vocês não gostam de Power Metal, caralho? Vamos aí, cacete.
Eles estão perguntando, mas tem muita coisa muito fora, Aquiles, então também não tô fazendo...
Não, mas pode pôr. Pode
tá,
pôr.
ok. This is for Felix. Felipe Martins, who sent 5. He's a huge fan of Felix from Edguy in Avantasia. He wants to know about Edguy's hiatus. There is any provision of getting together again, or depends of Toby? I think you already answered that, but that's a question.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I have no idea. I know that that after all that Corona shit, Avantasia will continue first, and then then we will see what happens. I don't know. I mean, we are still in contact, but there's nothing planned.
No plans.
It's fun because I'm pretty much sure that Tobias, he makes like much more money with Avantasia than Edguy.
Yeah.
So my question is,
Deixa eu traduzir primeiro, Aquiles, para o rapaz.
Beleza, tá.
Então, o Felipe perguntou, né, quais eram os planos do Edguy, e ele falou que não tem ideia nenhuma, né, que estão sem se falar até o momento, depende do Toby, eles estão no esquema da pandemia também, então sem nenhum plano agora, então é isso.
Okay, and I'm not sure if the guitar player of Edgar, James, if he's still playing with Avantasia, but I know that in some of the other tours he was playing. But my question is, since now you have 3 guys from Edguy in Avantasia, like how the other 2 guys deal with this kind of situation? Like, because you guys are playing.
No, it's actually only Toby and me.
Okay, but in the past,
I think Jens played 1 or 2 guitar solos on the CDs, but he was never on tour with us.
Ah, really? Ah, okay,
No.
I didn't know that. Okay, but the question still the same. How the other guys from Edguy, they deal with this situation that when when basically Toby is busy with Avantasia, what they usually do? They teach, they work with other things.
Yes, both actually. I mean, Eggy, our bass player, is now actually a teacher as well at a school, and he works as tour manager for a couple of German comedians. Okay. And Dirk, the blonde guitar player, he works as tour manager as well for other bands in Germany. And Jens plays in a it's like a rock cover band. But they, as far as I know, they play a lot, all throughout Germany.
Okay.
But,
and do you guys live together?
No.
Actually, sorry, closer.
No.
Closer?
I live like 3 hours away from Jens, Toby, and Dirk, and also from Eggy. I mean, Dirk, Toby, and Jens live well close by. They all live around the city of Fulda, and Eggy, the bass player, is like 1 hour away from them. And but I don't think that they see each other much. I mean.
Okay, and how do they deal with this kind of situation? Like you and Toby are always busy with that. Do they complain or they are okay with that?
Well, they're not really happy, of course.
I can imagine.
But on the other hand, I think everybody knows that also Edguy would not be Edguy and would not be that successful without Toby.
Yeah, absolutely.
So nobody. Well, we're all hoping that one day we will continue our work with Edguy, but of course there's not much or anything anyone can do actually.
Yeah, I know.
And it's of course understandable. I mean, I would probably do the same, and when I was, if I would be Toby, to work with Avantasia at this point.
Okay, and now a very hard question for you. What's your favorite band? The songs that you like to play the most?
Oh my God. Well, it's actually both.
Ok, cool. Okay. Então, galera, eu perguntei pro Felix, assim, né, que tipo, o que os outros integrantes do Ed Guy fazem, e eu achava que o guitarrista, o Jens, né, que ele tinha tocado algumas vezes, porque eu acho que eu vi ele tocando em um show. Actually, I saw Jens playing with Avantasia in some vacant show. That's why maybe maybe he was just hanging there. So
I think he was just hanging around there. I don't remember him being on stage.
Ok, cool. Então, eu achava que tinha o Felix, o Jens e o Tobias, né? Do Ed Guy em turnê com o Avantasia. Aí eu perguntei, aí ele falou que não, que são só os dois, né? Só o Felix e o Tobias. E aí eu falei, como que os caras lidam com isso, né? Aí ele falou, bom, como você deve imaginar, eles não devem ser muito felizes, mas é o tipo de situação que eles têm que aceitar, porque eles sabem da importância que tem o Tobias pro Ed Guy. Naquela linguagem que você entende na TV Maldita, significa agita, mas agita no seu lugar. Então, ninguém reclama de nada e é isso aí. Gilson!
We have a lot of super chats here.
Okay.
So let's do this. Starting with Festinha. Where is Festinha? Thiago Shade.
Oh,
He
Thiago
sent
Shade.
299, but the question he sent later. He just said, Germans are straight to the point and honest. Lovely, but they keep in the drawer. I learned that living and working with Germans in Germany. How do you guys think the German characteristics?
You ask Germans now, or
Yes, we are asking you, like,
Okay.
how do you deal, like, when you guys like Luca, he's from Italy, right?
Yeah.
And Fabio as well. So it's a kind of different culture. How do you guys deal when you are working with Americans, with like Spanish people, Latin American people?
Late Brazilians.
How do you deal? Brazilians.
and French, and yeah. So we have to. I mean, if you meet, we are on time. I think that's something which is true.
I'm sorry again. I'm so sorry. Man, I was feeling a crap. Sorry for that.
It's okay.
Usually I'm always on time, but today was
I know, but you know what, Aquiles, I'm used because I'm working with Italians, so it's all cool. So
yeah, they are
no,
the
all
worst.
cool. But yeah, I mean, the mentality is different, but I think everybody is like in the music business, especially. It's something like, you can just learn from the others too. There's not just bad sides, So I always try to see the good points,
And something that I can also mention, like, because I played for seven months with Primal Fear, So it's very, very hard when they know that there is someone in the middle of that crew that doesn't understand anything in German and then start talking in German. It's really hard. And I remember other Brazilian guys and other American guys that was working with German bands, and they were always talking in German.
But for me, in an Italian band, it's just they talk just in Italian all the time.
You never know one day.
That's Europe, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, because sometimes you never know if they are talking about you or not. So
yeah, this is when they switch. This is when they switch and don't talk in English. You always know that it's about you. That's for sure.
And
But you
tell
can
me,
see in the face.
okay, tell me, Felix, how was your, like, for the band at Guy when you are touring in countries in South America and in Brazil? Was it like too much different from the gigs that you always do in German or other places?
Well, I mean, of course, the audience is different. I mean, it was very. We felt very welcome. I mean, we all loved it, and I think, I think you can say that the audience in South America or in Spain, for example, to give an example, in Europe, are more, or seem to be a little bit more. Well, not more enthusiastic, but they're definitely louder.
Okay.
There's a lot more coming from the audience, and yeah, that was a big change or difference compared to Germany, or that in Brazil or Mexico, for example, there are always fans waiting in front of the hotel and stuff like this, because usually in Germany we rarely have that.
Ok. Cool. Então, galera, eu perguntei, né, se tem uma diferença. O Gilson falou, né, a pergunta do Thiago Scheidt falou que os caras são muito diretos, né, então eles negociam, que é uma coisa que eles vão direto ao ponto e tal, e foi uma coisa que ele aprendeu lidando com os alemães, né, e eu falei que os 7 meses que eu toquei com o Primal Fear, que era muito estranho, assim, que às vezes que a gente estava falando em inglês, todo mundo junto, e eles sabiam que eu não entendia porra nenhuma em alemão, eles começavam a falar em alemão, né? E aí eu perguntei, aí o Alex falou, mas os caras lá da minha outra banda falam em italiano, e eu também não entendo, né? E aí eu perguntei pro Felix se tinha uma diferença, assim, no relacionamento com a equipe local, ele falou que não, mas ele falou muito, assim, do público, né? Que o público é muito legal, que é muito... tem muito entusiasmo que vem do público quando eles tocam nos países da América do Sul, e isso é muito legal. Tem mais, Gilson?
Temos. Karim Sabah, who sent 5,000 something, I don't know what it is. Hello, Karim from PowerMetal.cl. What do you think is the definition of power metal drumming? Those guys.
Power,
and a lot of, like, you must be really wet by the end of the show. That's the secret.
I never liked this word power metal. I mean, cheers to the guys of Power Metal Chile. I know some of them, and it's a great company and stuff, you know. And but you know, power metal, the wording is like, it sounds so cheesy for me, you know. And yeah, really, I'm sorry. I mean, I never liked, you know, we had before, we started out with, we had hard rock, then we had heavy rock, then we had heavy metal. And from then on, you know, speed metal, whatever came, I was out, because for me, it's just, if it's good music, it's good music. And power metal is so cheesy. I mean, the words, you know. So, but I know what the question means, and I think that's not a clear definition for me, because I mean, it's obviously with double bass and stuff, and it has to go, you know, through the roof or between your eyes, but there can be also always added some new aspects, you know, because otherwise we are always doing the same. And the power metal guys who listen today to power metal, what they do is a power metal band, you know, if this continues, it's getting boring. So it's, you know.
So do you think that the power metal starts in Germany? Sorry.
I don't know.
Like the first band? Do you think that was kind of ASAP or maybe Halloween?
No, I think
back in the day?
I was under the impression that many people thought that Hammerfall were starting that whole thing back in the 90s. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I think that, like, the first power metal the power metal drummer that I heard about was Ingo from Halloween, because they were recording like Wolves of Jericho in 86, 87, and then both keepers in 88.
I mean, yeah, if you call this power metal scene like when did this thing started, I would just like go like maybe it was really Halloween. I mean, I don't remember all the other bands, German bands. I mean, Accept was much more before. I mean, they started like they had in the 70s I'm a Rebel and records like this before they took they made Breaker and you know, all that stuff. So that was before and was already heavy metal or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know actually, because I don't follow this power metal stuff at all.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Então, gente, o cara perguntou, né, qual que era a definição de um baterista de power metal, né? Aí o Felix falou, porra, power, né? Tipo, aí eu falei, e uma outra coisa, você tem que estar suado, quando acabar o show, você tem que estar bem suado, e todo mundo deu risada. E aí o Alex falou, pô, eu acho esse termo aí muito mimimi, né? Muito breguinha e tal, esse tipo de coisa assim, que eu não acho legal, power metal e tal. E aí eu perguntei para eles se eles achavam que o power metal tinha começado na Alemanha com bandas como o Halloween, né? E daí o Felix falou sobre o Hammerfall, mas aí eu falei, cara, mas tem o Walls of Jericho, que foi, eu não me lembro se foi 85, 86, e tem os Keepers, né, que foram 87, 88, né? Então, deixa eu fazer uma outra pergunta aqui para eles. How important was Ingo for the power metal drumming in Germany? How big is the name of Ingo in the scene? How respectful he is?
Completely. I mean, I've seen them the first tour, actually, you know, the Walls of Jericho tour, and then where Kai Hansen was still singing, and then the supporting Overkill with Kiske back then, you know, with Ingo 2 times. And I mean, he was great, just a great player, you know, and he was just awesome. So I think for this kind of scene, if we call it power metal, I mean, we call it also happy metal, but you know, for me, it was just a good band, you know, or it still is a great band, and Ingo is very important for the Germans. I don't know so many other drummers in Germany for this genre. I have really to think about them.
Uli Kush?
Yeah, sure, amazing stuff. Uli Kush, I mean, Danny, Felix, Danny Löble. I mean, all those guys are great. There's so many. But to define somebody for something is very hard also. I don't know, Felix, for me, it's very hard to have this guy for this.
No, and actually, I never really thought about this.
Me too.
Not really. I mean, of course, he's there, and it's and I always liked Halloween. They are a great band. Unfortunately, I have never seen him live.
Okay.
You're too young.
Yeah, exactly. You're a kid.
Come on, 28. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm 32, you know.
How old are you now? How old are you now, Felix?
I'm 45.
45. You look like a kid. I'm 49. What about you, Alex?
Well, I don't remember.
It was in the past. I stopped counting.
Yeah, exactly. So when it was 50, I stopped.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but thanks to Corona, we will not get any older because everything gets cancelled. Everything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we should stop this year. We are not counting. We are not counting this year at all. We are skipping this fucking shit.
And also, if you fly through the world, you know, you can also do some things for stay more young, you know.
Então, galera, eu perguntei para ele se tinha uma importância do Ingo, do Ingo na cena de bateria da Alemanha, né? E aí ele falou assim, eu nunca, né? O Alex falou, eu não sei assim, porque eu nunca fui muito desse negócio do power metal, mas eu acho que se for pensar nos estilos assim e no que foi feito naquela época, ele é importante sim. E o Felix falou, cara, eu nunca pensei Nunca parei para pensar nisso, né? Eu nunca vi a banda ao vivo, mas ele gosta da banda, respeita tal. Mas eles não quiseram, assim, tipo, entrar muito, dar muita
Me parece que é uma coisa mais nossa, né? De colocar, que veio de lá, né? E a gente vê assim, os alemães como uma referência, né? Eles parecem que não ligam muito para isso entre eles, né?
Principalmente porque eles estão nesse mesmo mercado. Meio, né? Exatamente. Ok, let's go, Gilson.
Okay, another question here from MM Tardin, $499. How did you guys feel about the passing of the master Neil Peart and his influence on your drumming style? Please, cheers from LA, guys. Love you. Be safe.
Hey. So I'm a huge.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a big. I'm still there. For me, it was a big influence. Big influence.
Yeah.
You hear me? So
I
even have a poster from his DVD back here in my back, you know, from Neil Peart.
Oh yeah, and I can see that.
In my first band, you can't hear me. In my first band, you know, we used to play this progressive stuff. I mean, Rush were a big part of. You know, we tried always to sound like them because they were our heroes. And also, I had this electronic percussion, what Neil had in this Subdivisions or Signals record and Grace Under Pressure record. Grace Under Pressure, I think was it. So I bought it because I wanted to sound like him. And I stole so many grooves and breaks from Neil. That was something, a big influence for me. And it was a shock when he died.
Okay, cool. What about you, Felix? How was important?
Of course, there's no question. He was a great drummer. For me personally, I can't say that he was really a big influence on me because I do have a couple of Rush records, but I don't know them very well.
Okay.
I mean, I've been listening to them every now and then, but I was never a really big fan, so I was never really not really listening to the music. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Então é isso aí, galera. Seguinte, ó. Tipo, o Alex falou que ele sempre foi muito fã, né? Porque ele tocava música progressiva e tal. E o Felix, ele falou que ele tem os discos, tem 2 discos e tal, mas que ele nunca ouviu muito, porque nunca foi o tipo de música que ele
Estamos
tocava,
falando do
né?
Neil Peart, porque a gente não traduziu isso.
Mas dá pra galera entender ali, né? Ele perguntou qual era a importância do Neil Peart nos nossos estilos e quão isso afetou a gente, né? Eu posso falar que a maior influência que eu tive do Neil Peart foi nesse negócio de ser muito fiel a tocar ao vivo, igual você tocou no estúdio, né? Nota por nota, nos mesmos pratos e tal. E principalmente fazer aquela cara de paisagem enquanto você toca as partes mais difíceis e impossíveis. E as pessoas depois, eu vou tentar tocar isso lá no meu apartamentinho de Copacabana, vai ser fácil pra caralho. E elas se fodem porque elas não conseguem. É isso aí. Vai lá, Gilson.
Alexandre Lourenço, 50. Nani. Drink is not good for the drumming.
Yeah, he's right.
Aquiles and Gilson. But it's totally cool for the band.
It is cool. Yeah, but he's right. But to avoid misunderstandings here, we never drink before the show. I mean, Felix,
just after.
Yeah, maybe a few beers after, but it's nothing big. I told you, Rhapsody is like, it's not the party band, you know. So it's like one beer, maybe a half a beer. And that's it.
And Alex, do you play with both Rhapsodies?
I played with both Rhapsodies, and but I stopped one of them.
What is all about this?
This is the question I don't want to.
Yeah.
This is the question I don't want to talk about. I forgot in the beginning.
But do you feel some jealous from one band from the other, or they just don't talk about this kind of stuff with you because they know that you are playing both bands?
Yeah, as I said, I stopped to play with both bands, but I mean, it is what it is, you know.
You just don't want to talk about this. Let's keep
You don't want to talk at all.
No, it's
It's
much more complicated. If I start to talk about this, we need 1 hour more, because I mean, just imagine if you just think about the names. We had Rhapsody, then it was Rhapsody of Fire, then there was a friendly split, and then there was Rhapsody of Fire, and look at the release Rhapsody. And now this version is, now we have Rhapsody of Fire and Fabio Leone and to release Rhapsody. You know,
Wow.
so it's so complicated.
A lot of Rhapsodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the music is still good, because the branding is the branding, you know. I mean, everything what's important is the music. I think everybody tries to focus on this, you know, to have a good time still and doing good shows and good music, good records.
Uhum. Então, galera, eu perguntei se ele tocava nas duas bandas. Ele, antes de eu acabar a pergunta, antes de ele acabar a pergunta, yes, we are talking really bad things about you guys.
Yeah, us too in German.
I know. Então, aí ele falou assim, antes de acabar a pergunta, ele já falou assim, pô, essa é uma pergunta que eu não queria falar, mas eu insisti, né? Falei, pô, se os caras não ficavam com ciúmes, né, dele tocar nas duas bandas e tal, ou se eles já falavam assim, bom, não vamos falar nada porque ele toca nas duas bandas, e ele ficou assim, isso aí, acabou não falando nada. Basicamente, ele falou, pô, tem um monte de facções da mesma música, mas ele acha que, ele espera que a música continue sendo boa ao vivo, que é o que mais importa. Let's go, Gilson.
Another good question for Felix and Alex. Are Germans still into power metal nowadays? Thiago Shade 199.
I hope they are.
I know some. And if you see Manowar, for example, I mean, I guess Manowar, it's power metal or not. I mean, if they play in Germany, it's not power. No, it's true metal. Felix, don't look like this.
I don't know. It's like cosplay metal, maybe, or I don't know.
Oh, yeah, but I don't want to judge, you know. But it's
no.
Let's not talk about this stuff if it's good or not. But I mean, they really fill the halls here, and so I think this is power metal. So at least there are some people in Germany they like. I think there's still a strong scene here, but don't ask me because I don't listen to power metal at all. So it's true.
Vai, Gilson. Essa aí foi boa.
Akai Mochizuki, 1,200 whatever yens. Yeah. Hello, my heroes. Your great music and performance keep me going. I really want to go to your concert and see you. Please stay safe. With love from Japan.
Hi, Aki.
Hey, Aki. Thank you so much, really. And yeah, we try the best to stay safe. I think that it's for everyone and also for you in Japan. Hopefully we come back to Japan very soon. And yeah, stay safe. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Don't you guys think that in 2021, like the music world is going to collapse because everyone is going back to the road and doing tours?
Nobody
and
will.
Stuff?
Nobody will come in January. When you ask me, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think.
Not in the beginning.
I know that everybody wants. No, I don't think so. But you're right. Everybody's writing new records and stuff like this. And everybody wants to tour. I don't know how they want to do this with all the halls, with all the nightliners, you know, and how do you want to do it? The people after the COVID situation also don't have so much money to spend for the shows, you know, and also with social distancing and on masks and stuff, I don't think it's going to be like back how it was. Maybe never, you know. I hope so. It's going to be okay, but let's wait. That's sweet. Maybe there's gonna be something else, you know. We have to maybe find something else.
Yeah.
Garden.
Então, galera, eu perguntei se eles não acham que vai ser uma loucura quando as bandas voltarem a tocar, que vai ter tipo um colapso, assim, né? Ele falou, cara, no começo acho que não, que as pessoas vão estar com medo ainda, né? Tipo assim, com esse negócio da segurança toda. Então é um grande, a gente pode falar que isso é uma grande dúvida que todo mundo tem, né? Nesse mercado de como que vai ser o mercado da música depois do Covid. Go, Gilson!
Pedro Henrique. Cincão. Hey guys, you're awesome. I'd like to ask you, what was the worst time at the stage that you had experienced? What happened then?
Oh my God.
I had a stick in my head once, actually.
Felix.
A drumstick broke near the tip, and then it flew into my head, and I didn't notice it. I mean, my drum tech was sitting beside me, and he was pointing at his head the whole time, and he was. I was like, yeah. And when I moved my head, I could feel something here, and then
Wow.
I ripped it out. And it was very bloody, but nothing happened.
We were in Paris, first tour. I sold out 2 nights. And that was the first night that happened this thing. I mean, we went on stage after this long epic intro, Rhapsody style. It's like very bombastic. And so we went on stage and there was no fucking click. The click was on 0. And I went, I put my headphones and there was no click. So we had to stop. And the crowd were completely like, loaded. And they really wrote like, that's also the funny part of the story. They wrote like, oh, this band was shit, the first show and blah, blah, blah. Second day we played again and everything went fine. And the people who went to the second show were like, wow, best concert of my life, and they were like fighting between them. Stuff like this can happen. I mean, that was really bad. If you don't have the click, because the band, they always watch me, hey, what's wrong with Alex? I'm always the guy to blame,
Yeah.
And every time, and also other things happening, like the song, repeating with a loop stuff and stuff like this. My God, I forgot about, because I erased my memory for this kind of stuff.
It's better to say.
Technical fuck up. That's
oh my God,
really weird.
But for the people, they don't understand. I mean, it's bad,
And another funny thing was I was helping out another band, and but nobody told me at what time the show would start, and so I was still behind the stage and talking to some guy, and then I was wondering where all the rest had gone, and then after 5 and after 5 minutes somebody told me, hey dude, your show already started. I was just not on stage.
Hey, you guys
was like Aquiles today.
Yeah, just like me, totally embarrassed. Did you guys ever had problems with in-ears, like when the intro was playing and you, oh my God, I don't have time enough to get this like straight to go on stage? This happened with me one night with Wasp.
My God, fuck.
Oh my God, in front of Blackie Lawless.
Oh my God. How was the reaction?
Actually,
of Blackie?
He said, we can't stop the intro again, Aquiles. Let's go to the stage. And then I remember that I always have one more spare with my drum tech. So I jump in the stage and I told the guy, give me my spare headphone now. And I throw this one away just like this. And I swear to God, like 2 or 3 seconds before start the counting, I got the sound in my ear. And then Blackie just look at me and I start counting and I said, it's okay. But that was scary. That was totally scary.
I mean, stuff like this always happens. There was one time I had the same it was more about the plug, because I had my headphones. I always I don't want to hear the others talk before the show anyway, so I put it in my ears before the show, like half an hour before. So yeah, but then I went on stage one time, and a drum tech was a different band. He forgot to put the, what is it? The connection in the jack in the extension. And I was like intro again, like fucking epic long intro, and I was like watching, and it was too late to search or ask somebody. It was about to plug in and do the pre-count, and I was just watching him, and was like, okay, I'm super fucked. What can you do? Nothing. Leave me alone, So we had to start again. My God, stuff like this, yeah. My God.
The whole intro again.
Yeah.
You know what happened in this day? The tour manager, he was always saying me like 3 times, Aquiles, 15 minutes. And I said, okay, I'm warming up. Aquiles, 10 minutes. Okay, I'm warming up. Aquiles, 5 minutes. So every day he was doing this. So I was always warming up in another room because Blackie was warming up, singing, so I don't want to be in the middle of some. So I was making my noise in another room. So that day, I was with the headphone like this, and I was practicing with my pad and with my cell phone. And then the guy just show up and said, Aquiles, stage now. So, and it said, now? What about 15, 10, and 5 minutes? No, sorry, I forgot. That's what happened, And I don't know about you guys, but when I am on tour, I want to do every day exactly the same schedule. The time that I wake up, the time that I eat, the time of sound check, because it becomes like a routine and you never get lost. I don't know about you guys. Tell me about your routine when you guys are touring.
Felix?
I do not have such a strict routine. I mean, especially, I start warming up approximately 1 hour before a show, or then I get changed, and then and then the warming up starts. But that's but it's not always the same. I mean, especially on the last couple of tours with Avantasia, you have like 5 singers around you who are all screaming and yelling and singing, and you're sitting there like, okay, it's very hard to concentrate. Or someone tells a joke, and so you always get distracted. And then luckily we have our tour manager, who, but he doesn't give us a count. I mean, sometimes he says something like, "Okay, guys, 5 minutes or 3." Sometimes he doesn't, and he just comes around and tells us, "Well, it's stage time now, so come on." But so it's always a surprise. But of course, I more or less know what to expect, and that's okay then.
Felix, what do you use for getting warm? Just the pads?
Just a practice pad, and sticks with rubber tips.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And for your feet?
Nothing. Just the floor.
He's a machine.
Oh, God.
I just turned it on. Yeah.
What about you, Alex?
Well, my routine is there's no routine, and I learned with Rhapsody. I learned that I have to take care of myself. So I need if I want to go on stage, I do my power nap before, power napping before, because I don't want to play, get warm and stuff like this. It's like for old people, but I'm just kidding. But no, but I like to power nap. That's my routine actually. I always, like 2 hours before the show, I have my whatever it is, lunch or whatever, and then I do like relaxing 1 hour. It's more about that the people are not talking to you all constantly, because this gets you tired. Yeah. Me especially, I like to relax a little bit, and So I do this power nap stuff, and then 1
Power
hour
nap is
before
good.
the show, I go like coffee and talking, doing fun, and then when it's getting too much, I get my earplugs in to not listen to the others anymore, and we just go. Sometimes I like it not to play at all before, because it's like fucking crazy. You go on stage and you are there, and you did not do anything before. It's amazing.
That's nice.
Então,
galera,
let me just complement this. It's not a problem for you guys to start just with a song that's too fast. No. The first song's the worst song from the set list is not a problem for you guys at all.
We started with Dawn of Victory, for example. That was like it's like crushing, but no, it was okay. If it would be maybe 210, maybe I would try to get warm before,
Maybe.
But this is 190, and it's going long, and it's going. I don't know. This is the reason I don't go into this practicing before the show, because then I get tired, So I don't do this anymore.
Ok, cool. Então, galera, a pergunta que o cara falou é alguma coisa estranha que tem acontecido. E aí eu perguntei para eles também se alguma vez o fone deles não ficou assim, todo embaraçado enquanto eles estavam entrando no palco e tocando a intro, né? Aí o Felix falou que uma das coisas mais embaraçosas que aconteceu foi que ele estava tocando uma vez e um pedaço de baqueta ficou preso aqui, Eu acho que machucou ele e tal, quebrou a baqueta,
sangrou,
ficou aqui,
ele nem
sangrou, ele nem viu, e o técnico dele, tua cabeça. E aí o Alex falou que teve uma vez que eles estavam para entrar no show e o técnico de batera dele esqueceu de plugar isso daqui no extensor, né? Lá naquele jack, e aí tava começando a tocar, então ele falou, mas eu não tô ouvindo nada, tal, e aí eles viram que deu uma merda grande, eles tiveram que recomeçar o show da intro, e aí eu contei uma experiência minha com o OSP, que eu tava tocando e eu tava entrando, e o cara sempre avisava 15 minutos antes, 10 e 5. Nesse dia ele chegou, Aquiles, stage time, vamos lá, hora do palco. Falei, cara, mas eu tava me aquecendo ainda, eu saí com o fone assim, enrolando, tentando desenrolar, e aí o Black me olhou e falou assim, não dá pra parar a intro. E, cara, nesse show, quem tava na plateia, com quem eu falei antes, foi com o Rod Smallwood, do Iron Maiden. Então, assim, não podia dar nada errado mesmo. E aí eu me lembrei que eu tinha um cabo reserva, um fone reserva com o técnico de batera. Quando eu entrei no palco, falei, me dá o cabo, me dá o outro fone, joguei esse aqui lá para ele. E aí o Black tava apavorado, mas deu tipo 3 segundos para eu começar a contagem, assim. Aí ele olhou para trás e eu falei que tava ok. And one more thing about that gig with Wasp. Rod Smallwood, the manager from Iron Maiden, he was there as well. So we couldn't stop the machine at all,
Okay.
That would be a huge mistake.
Okay,
Gilson.
Let's do another from Thiago Shades. He's asking, do you guys like any NGH bands? Which bands? Why? I don't know that NGH.
What is new? I don't know what it is.
New Door Hardcore, New York Hardcore. No, I don't know.
I asked him here, but I don't think he answered me.
NDH. Let's
skip this one.
Let's
skip
Google.
This is fucking bullshit. Skip this one.
I don't know.
Don't be so mean.
No, it's because
I have a question myself.
Because we know very, very well this guy. He's kind of friend of us. He's always here.
Oh, okay. It's your friend.
Yeah. Okay. Go, Gilson. Your question.
I have a question myself. Do you guys tasted any good beer here to remember?
In Brazil?
Right? Yeah, in Brazil.
Yeah.
Well, I drank beer in Brazil, but I don't remember the names actually. I mean,
I can write down a list for you later.
I would need to check out the brand again. The last time I was drinking beer with Kruger, which was amazing. The beer was really good. There are some brands I don't remember now, We party too hard, so no memory anymore. But no, they are, yeah. Good.
I remember when I was playing with Primal Fear, they was always like having Heineken.
Oh my God, I hate Heineken.
Really?
Like,
you don't?
Why most of German hates Heineken?
Yeah.
We say it's horse piss. I'm sorry, but I mean, I respect, Hahnemann and stuff, and I know this is like the Slayer stuff, like, Still Raining, but the beer itself, it's like, it's horrible. I would prefer to never drink again, just, I mean.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean,
let's go. It's just funny.
So tell the people, what's your favorite beer? Like the number one.
Mine, this one, Augustiner München.
Augustiner München.
But also we have a lot of Belgian beer, which are Bavarian brands and stuff. But we have also in Germany there are great brands all over, and the Belgian beer also is great. So, but it's getting everywhere in the world. It's getting better and better now. So I don't want to, but this is one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, I like, as I told Alex before, I like wheat beer a lot. I mean, like that really German heavy beer.
You guys are more into the traditional style, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not
no fashion beer stuff.
Belgian style.
Yeah. It's like, it has to be, we have this, it's brewed like in a certain way. There's no chemical stuff inside. And we have a band in Germany, they are called Tankard. They're also singing, they're singing about, they're singing about the chemical invasion and stuff like this. So we are very strict in Germany to keep it like healthy. I mean, it's like the biologic stuff you buy in a supermarket. We did this all the time with our beer, which is amazing. And even the Belgians are not doing this. So you know what the best beer is now.
You see, this Aquiles, we are talking about beer in your channel.
Yeah, you know what? I don't drink beer at all.
I know.
Only caipirinha.
Yeah.
Caipirinha.
Okay, only schnapps and caipirinha.
Yeah,
amazing.
Exactly. Because
this is
I'm kind
huge
of
abuse of structure.
I'm very weird. I'm very weird because, like, when I'm having any kind of drink, I drink girly drinks. Must be sweet. So that's
my God.
why I don't.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's why.
I die. But you know what? If we talk about beers and stuff, we have also to say like alcohol-free beer or beer without alcohol is getting better and better. And now in my rider, there's also alcohol-free beer is on the rider. So I check out everywhere we go. In Japan last time was amazing. And it's big fashion and it's great, Before this show, I had also an alcohol-free beer, which is like, we're not talking about beer all the time with alcohol. It's also about the big culture without alcohol, which is getting better, which is amazing, I think. We're non-alcoholics, I hope.
But mostly it is with alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true.
So, guys, we are getting close to 2 hours chatting, and we're gonna ask you guys. I have one more question for you, and also start thinking about one record, one movie, and one book to give to the audience your taste about this kind of stuff. But I read in the past, Felix, that you record one of the Ed Guys album together with the bass player at the same time. I don't remember the name of the album, but I remember Toby saying that if you guys try to do this, like maybe in the previous album, you guys were not ready to do that. So what was the big challenge at that time, and what was your feeling about recording just bass and drums?
It was actually it was a great experience. I think actually it was Sasha's idea to try that.
Okay.
I mean, at that time, I think it was the Rocket Ride CD where we did that.
Okay.
Actually, and so at that time, Sasha was already working with Toby and Avantasia, and from that time with that guy as well. and and I think he suggested that we should at least try it, and then it worked really well. So we did the whole city, I think, or almost every song on the city this way. And there were only, as far as I know, we only had to make a couple of corrections, but not too many.
Okay.
But on the other hand, I think we never did it again. So maybe in the end it was, of course, it was more time consuming than anything else. So, but it was a nice try.
But did you just record like bass and drums, or you were like listening to the guitars, to the?
No, I think Jens was also playing along, but I don't know if we. I don't remember if we kept the guitar tracks as well, or if it was just like a guide guitar for Eggy and me.
Okay. Okay, cool. And Alex, what's the way that you record like the raps of these songs? Do you have like the backing tracks with the band, or they record everything like this is gonna be what we're gonna have in the album, and you just record like the very last thing to record is the drums? So my question is, how do you deal with this? Do you prefer like people playing live with you, or are fine with backing tracks?
It depends. Two sides actually. I mean, with Rhapsody, it's always everything is like programmed. I mean, now years ago it was different, and it's like programmed, and you hear this shitty sounding, cheap Atari melodies back then. Now it sounds better, but even if you have 16th note guitars programmed, it's not really super inspiring. But I'm at least alone with the producer, so I can I don't have the others. If you are playing with the band, it's great. I did with Sieges Even, The Art of Navigating by the Stars is a record which is like completely played without any click track. We were together playing like we did back then, which was also amazing. But then you have also the other opinions, and let's try this a little bit more fast and stuff. So I prefer both ways of recording, actually. Or if there are certain other ways, it's also great, Always like positive and negative stuff.
Okay, cool. Tá. Então, eu perguntei para eles, né? Tipo, eu falei pro Felix que eu me lembro de ter lido em algum lugar que eles gravaram um disco só baixo e batera, né? Tocando junto. Aí eu queria saber dele, da experiência que ele teve, né? Aí ele falou que foi no Rocket Ride e que eles acharam legal pra caralho, assim, mas que consumiu muito mais tempo, né? Pra eles fazerem. E aí eu perguntei se eles realmente tocaram só baixo e batera, e ele falou que ele achava que o guitarrista estava tocando as partes de guitarra junto, mas que estava gravando só baixo e batera, mas que eles não acharam a experiência tão legal, assim, foi a única vez que eles fizeram, né? E aí eu perguntei pro Alex sobre o processo de gravação com o Rhapsody, se eles tocam ao vivo, se está tudo programado. Ele falou que está tudo programado e que ele está acostumado a fazer dessa forma, né? E deixa eu perguntar mais uma coisinha aqui para eles para completar isso aqui. And do you guys, remember the first time that you faced a click track? How was like the way that you approached that? Was it easy? Like, was it already in studio when you were recording? How was the first experience with click tracks?
Well, for me, it started in '98, when I joined that guy, and that was the first time I had to play with a click because of the keyboard stuff. So, but well, in the end, we just tried. We rehearsed a lot all together, and well, in the end, I just had to get used to it. So I was trying it and getting used to it, just by playing.
Okay.
I was like, if I remember it right, it was the first time was directly in the studio where I had also to learn the songs. It was Headhunter's first record, Schmier's record, Destruction we had when he just went out of the band, Destruction. we learned 3 songs a day, and at night we recorded, or other way around, you know it. And there was a click track, and it was very hard for me because sometimes I remember there was those 16 notes, triplets in the break to come, you know, from a fast part. There was really, I remember this was very hard for me back then. I was completely lost. And yeah, I mean, that was my experience. And then it came like you started in the rehearsal room to play with the click track every day. So then you get used, of course. But in the beginning, it was like a kind of shock.
Oh, cool. Vai, Gilson.
Tradução?
É? Ou você estava prestando atenção em outra coisa?
Tava prestando atenção aqui no superchat, mas ele falou
então...
que ele tava, que a primeira experiência dele, ele tava... Não peguei.
Tá. Então, o Felix falou que a primeira experiência dele foi com o Edguy quando ele entrou em 1998.
Tá, isso eu peguei.
E que, tipo, que ele começou a tocar com os teclados, né? Então, foi uma coisa assim que ele falou assim, cara, eu só precisei me acostumar, não foi uma coisa muito ruim. E o Alex falou que, assim, que no começo foi meio difícil, mas ele se acostumou, né? Junto, rapidamente com isso. So, Alex and Felix, for the Brazilian and for the other guys that are watching us here, what's the best record that can represent your drumming?
Our own records, we played our own, you mean?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, exactly. Okay. Your stuff. With Edguy, Avantasia, or Rhapsody, or any other band that you perform. Something that you can say, this represents my drumming.
I would say, like, for me, like the first Avantasia or Siege's Even Sophisticated.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'd say the last Avantasia album, and from Edguy, I'd say also the most recent one, Space Police.
Okay, cool. So now, guys, please give to the listeners here like a movie, a CD that you would like to recommend them, and also a book for readers.
Felix,
can be the album that you have listened the most in your life.
Yeah,
something that you can share.
I mean, one of my favorite metal albums is still Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche.
Okay, cool.
Like I would go
for many people, I guess.
I would go for Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind.
Cool. Look.
And now, yeah, I know. I know.
And book. That's a good question.
Let's go for the movie first, huh?
Harry Potter.
I love all the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings movies from Peter Jackson.
Okay.
And everything with Star Wars.
I go for Goodfellas, the movie, mafia movie. It's amazing, so much fun. And for the book, I have to say, I don't read that much. I just read stuff which is like for business, you know. It's nothing really fancy or what could be interesting for the people. It's like
drum methods.
Yeah, exactly. I have the Dante Agostini books and all that stuff, and this the rest I read is like, you know, how to make a product work and stuff like this. So I do not recommend those books because you can watch a movie and you have a better time, you know.
Absolutely. So are you guys playing a lot of drums during this quarantine? Like almost like daily? Do you guys have time to do this?
Well, I don't play, I have to admit, not daily, because I really have so much work to do in and around the house.
In the gardening, like gardening.
Like gardening, yes, or doing stuff with my family. And but maybe not always daily, but very, very often.
Okay, and do you have like a drums or in a studio closer to your house?
I have
Your house?
I have a garage
Okay.
which I try to make more or less soundproof for the real drums, and then I have an electronic kit in the cellar, and that of course makes no noise at all. So
okay, cool. What about you, Alex?
I have my per kit actually here in the cellar, and so I can play every day. And I try to play every day actually, and my heart bleeds if I have to write notes, because I'm writing a lot of stuff at the moment. And so I have always to see what can I do with those hours I have for this kind of, it's music, but I would love to play every day, and I try to. When I teach, it's like a lot. It's like 30 hours a week, so it's like cool. I think it's great to stay in shape, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. Então, galera, eu perguntei para eles, né, quanto tempo que eles estão tocando, se eles estão tocando diariamente, e o Felix falou que ele tem uma bateria na garagem dele, tem uma bateria eletrônica também que ele usa de vez em quando, mas ele não tem tocado todos os dias, porque ele tem muita coisa para fazer no jardim dele, que ele tá arrumando, e as coisas com a família dele, né? E o Alex falou que, como vocês podem ver, ele tá dentro do estúdio dele, ele tá sempre tocando diariamente, tá dando aula também, então ele vai nessa agenda, assim, de intercalar essas coisas. Então é isso, Gilson.
This is it.
This is it. So, guys, I would like to thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time today. And now the space is all yours for you to say goodbye to your Brazilian fans.
Goodbye, Brazilian fans. Thank you for having us.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
Exactly. So goodbye, Brazilian fans. I hope to see you soon. I mean, we are supposed to play very soon in Brazil again now, but hopefully it's going to be very soon. And thanks always for this great time we have in Brazil. It's always amazing to play there, always. It's very special.
Guys, thank you so much. I have listened to you guys a lot.
Oh, thank you, man.
With the bands. I saw you guys playing live, so it's a pleasure. And thank you so much for your time, for sharing your knowledge with the
Likewise.
guys. They all love you. You guys are huge in Brazil. They love you, and they love your drumming and the band as well. So thank you so much for you guys. For you guys, it's already night, right? It's almost midnight.
Yes.
So here
now party time.
Here's it in the middle of the afternoon. So I'm going back to my practice room to play a little bit more. Okay, Gilson, awesome. Good night. Tchau, galera do Brasil.
It was a pleasure
Have a wonderful day
very
tomorrow.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you very much. Tchau.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Fica um pouco aí, Gilson. Deixa eles falarem tchau ali. Isso. Então, cara, galera, mais uma vez, desculpa essa porra de horário. Eu vou pedir pro Gilson falar assim, sempre que for mudar o nosso horário, me incomoda, Gilson. Manda bastante mensagem, assim.
Eu queria ver se fosse comigo, eu estaria demitido.
Cara, você tava... Não, demitido não, né? Mas, tipo assim, eu iria, no mínimo, achar não aceitável, assim como eu fiquei puto. Tanto
cara, eu achei que tinha acontecido alguma coisa com você, cara. Porque você nem me respondeu, eu liguei e não me respondeu assim, cara, aconteceu alguma coisa grave, eu fiquei preocupado.
Cara, eu fiquei, sabe, quando acontece esse tipo de coisa, eu fico tão errado, eu fico sem reação, eu não sei o que fazer. Eu falei assim, cara, eu tento me conectar dentro da sala, mas tem um cara tocando, eu faço pelo laptop, será que vai... Cara, eu fiquei todo errado, assim. Eu não sou muito bom em lidar com esse tipo de situação, quando você tem que improvisar com uma coisa que é muito importante, né, cara, muito sério. Então, eu quero pedir desculpa a todos vocês que estão em casa, ao Gilson, pedir desculpa para os nossos convidados, mas eu acho que o papo foi super legal, 2 horas.
O Felix está assistindo ainda. Dá um tchauzinho para ele.
Ele tá vendo ainda?
Ele tá no backstage, tá no backstage.
Então beleza. Então é isso aí, galera. Obrigado, boa noite para vocês. Tudo de bom, se cuidem aí. E amanhã a gente fala com vocês novamente. Amanhã, que horas que é a live, Gilson?
Deixa eu conferir aqui, acho que é às 9 da noite, cara.
9 da noite, igual hoje? Não, hoje era
é 9 da
8.
noite no Brasil. Então aí, cara, vai ser às 5 da tarde, é isso?
Tá, 5 da tarde. Então é o
né?
horário que eu imaginava
5,
que era
6,
hoje.
7,
Cara.
8, 9, 5 da tarde.
Tá, então beleza. Então esse aí fica mais perto, fica mais fácil para decorar perto do negócio. Então é isso aí. Galera, o papo foi muito legal, foi sensacional. E olha aqui, ó, ainda é dia. Eu vou aproveitar agora o dia.
Tá fazendo que nem o bacalhau hoje, né?
Caralho. E ó, olha só que legal. Ontem eu gravei a Sailing the Sea of Sorrow e a Inside Your Soul com bumba em semicolcheia do começo ao fim, porque eu sou bem burro. Eu gosto.
Parabéns.
É isso aí. Então, agora, vou só acabar as coisas da sala, eu vou para casa, que eu tô, cara, só tomei café. Aqui são 3:30 da tarde, tô morrendo de fome. Então é isso aí, Gilson.
Então.
Petisquinho hoje, aproveita, vocês todos.
Agora eu vou jantar com a esposa.
É isso aí.
Vou tomar uma cerveja alemã em homenagem aos convidados.
Aos convidados. Foi sensacional. É isso aí, galera. Boa noite. Valeu. Tchau.
Valeu.